Okay, the key to successful installation of this thing is first to test your replacement alternator. Before you replace this, you must try this. I don't care if it's brand new, aftermarket, but especially if it's aftermarket or a used one which came out of another vehicle. There are different variation, different wattage or amperage rather. So you want to bring in your replacement alternator while you have a battery disconnected. Connect the terminals back on there. It's a three-way connection. This is your positive, this is a regulator signal, and then this one ground. So you want to clamp a jumper cable to some sort of ground. You have a ground right here or a nearby ground if you have any clean ground. Connect it and then plug your battery on. Make sure this is safe and secure. Turn on the car and scan using IMPA or whatever tool you have, and then see if you have a communication fault. If you have a communication fault, you don't want to put this back in there and waste all your coolant and your time. Before you replace this, you must try this. So to recap, unplug all the wiring from the alternator and plug it on the replacement alternator. Turn the car on and scan it and see if you have a valid communication prior to replacing it. For the purpose of this video, I'm gonna assume that you already removed some of the stuff you're supposed to remove prior to working on the alternator. According to the book, the steps to get to the alternator requires to remove the radiator, and then once you also remove the radiator, you're supposed to remove the belt for your alternator belt, or the compressor drive belt, the AC compressor drive belt. But I will not touch the radiator. The radiator could stay in the vehicle. You definitely want to remove the alternator drive belt, but you don't have to remove the AC compressor drive belt. You definitely want to remove the transmission cooler and swing it out of the way. But before you get to anything, you want to drain the coolant. And to drain the coolant, on the left side of the radiator, you have a petcock. You want to remove that and drain the coolant. And I'm going to make a different video for that. So this will assume that you already drained the coolant, you removed most of the stuff, but it's going to get to just removing the alternator, and it's going to give you some tips on what to do and what not to do, what bolts to remove, and how far you should remove some of these things. For example, you want to release 2 screws on the back of the idler pulley, which is attached to the alternator, but only remove one of them off and the other one should stay there. And then also remove the 4 screws, the stabilizer bar. Make sure you don't drop it, and then just swing it out of the way, and do not disconnect any of that hydraulic lines or for power steering. Just let it stay there. First thing you want to do is, since it's water cooled, you want to drain the coolant. And to drain the coolant, on the left side of the radiator, you have a petcock. You want to remove that. Drain the coolant. While it's draining, you want to remove these things that are held on 13mm. 2 on the left and right, one top, up at the bottom, and this right here. That's how it is. So you remove those bolts. The best thing for you to do is this 13mm to remove them. To break them loose, you want to have a long extension with swivel. You'll be able to remove it like that. Alright, to remove these, you need a 13mm. Just break them loose, and then after a couple of turns, there you go. You want to remove these. Alright. one comes out. But the other one, it doesn't come out. Turn it all the way to the end and you leave it in there. Then you'll be able to get to the 10mm bolts, which is securing the alternator on the alternator bracket. On the idler pulley, alternator idler pulley bracket, this screw, this right here, leave it in there, but you can remove this one. Pull it out as much as you can so you can disconnect the bracket, this bracket right here. But leave it in there, don't get it out because it might be difficult to put it back in. What you want to do is remove the 70mm plastic nut and just break that loose. The 70mm plastic nut. Keep it, see that, and wiggle this out of here. Put this one back. The next ones are, you're gonna go around in a circle and then break these loose. They are 10 mils. Just want to break them loose first. Start to do on one hand. The way I like to do them, I have this set up here. Put this one back in. They're all the same size bolts. They're all the same length, but there are 6 of these. Coolant is gonna come out when you try to remove this. Coolant is gonna come out, so maybe prepare yourself to catch. And the other thing I want to tell you is key. Protect the radiator. I don't care about this radiator, so that's why it's open. For you, I would put a box. You want to protect this. Like I said, prepare yourself for some coolant. See, coolant's coming out. And more coolant is going to come out when I pry this open. And that should do it. And there's an O-ring which you might want to replace. Voila. This is 180. Clean all this surface real good before you put it in. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video. And if it is helpful to you, please like and subscribe. And then also comment. So if there's anything you want us to make a video off of, please let us know, and we'll be more than happy to accommodate your requests.